It's the Drizzy Morgan show.
I lost my job, a really good job, in November of last year. Great job, good wages, loads of good benefits. The pension scheme was off the chain. I don't really want to go into too much detail of what that job was because I might actually go back at some point. But what happened in that situation is I broke some rules and I ended up having to resign from that job. Now, looking back at that situation, for a long time, obviously I had resentment and I was upset with myself just because, you know, you have something and I had something and I just definitely didn't appreciate it towards the end of that role. And one thing that stood out to me was my complacency at that job. Now, I feel like what I should have done was align myself with another role within that department or another role within that company just to keep myself fresh, challenged, keep myself, you know...
the fire burning.
Yeah, because if I look back now, I would have still been at that job and I still would have been just doing it because I was comfortable. Now, I feel like complacency can be a very, very big killer of your progression in life. And I want to tell the audience to just be careful of complacency in your life. If you feel like you're in a place and it feels too safe, then you need to not rock the boat per se, because at the end of the day, when it comes to work and jobs, we all need to pay bills and we all need to be accountable to somebody. But at the same time, make sure that you find something else to do before you make a move. I feel like you should always move from one job to another. Do not leave yourself in a space where you're not earning any money, especially if you have a family or you have overheads. And I just want to say, be careful of complacency. How do you feel about that, Drizzy? Have you ever had complacency in any shape or form in your life before?
Yeah. I could say when I was working for Radio 1, Flash 1 Extra, I was comfortable. Life was good.
Yeah.
I'm in an industry that I love. It's music related.
Yeah.
I'm going to all these parties. I am interacting with all these artists and producers and stuff like that. Like, it was cool. But I didn't... I wonder if it's complacency or if it was just misguided loyalty, because I was loyal by default.
Right.
So maybe I was putting other people's other people's aspirations and stuff ahead of mine because I was comfortable.
Right.
Because there's more things I could have. There's like every so often I'll think about it. I might bump into someone who goes to me, "Yo, you're the brother that used to work with Westwood." It's like, yeah. And then after I've spoken to them, and like, yeah, man, I remember you used to DJ for him, man. I used to see you at the radio station, and like anywhere he was, you was there. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. It's after that conversation I think, and I like.
So those who don't know, Drizzy used to be what would you call it? Programmer.
I was like an elite PA.
An elite PA,
which is like, because I was like, I worked at the office,
right?
So I had an actual day job there at his production company,
getting a salary.
Yeah. But then, because of how I was moving and being very proactive, he was like, you should come to the radio station one time.
Right.
Just sit in the show, yada, yada, yada. And then I just gradually just like hustled and bustled my way to the point where I was an on-air personality.
Right.
I'm booking guests for the show.
Yeah. Which is how we met.
Which is like, how we met.
Yeah.
And but then because of him, I learned how to DJ. And I learned how to DJ the same day that I had to DJ.
Right.
And it was at Birmingham Uni. I'll never forget. It was at Birmingham Freshers Tour.
Yeah.
And shout out to Goldfinger and
Shout out to
Errol
Goldfinger.
Silva.
Yeah.
Errol used to DJ, used to be Tim's warm-up DJ, but Tim always...
You still in touch with him?
I haven't spoken to Errol in a minute,
Right.
you know? But he always used to whisper in my ear like, yo, son, you need to learn to DJ just because you're always here, like you work for me.
Right.
So it just makes sense that someone within the team is doing what.
Right.
And then I just, you know, and it's a case of I just took the needle off, put the vinyl on,
Boom.
press play, let it, and then I started to build my little set, and I started to, cool. That's just the condensed version of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's things, looking back on it, there's certain moves I could have made to progress myself even more. But again, I was comfortable and I felt like I didn't want to rock the boat.
Right.
So that's where the complacency kicked in, because I felt like, there's more I can do, but I don't want to rock the boat in regards to what I'm already doing.
Yeah.
So there's certain opportunities that were presented to me and that was spoken, I was made aware of, and I didn't do them just because of my loyalty to the fact that, well, this is kind of in direct competition to what's going on over here.
Okay.
So
and you
I
would
can't
felt
do
like
it.
you was rocking the boat a little bit.
And I felt like if I did that, I'd be rocking the boat.
Right.
And I don't know if the grass is green on the other side. I know what I've been doing here for the past 5 years.
Facts.
And it's been cushy for me.
Like, when you look back at it now, do you think that you should have made moves, or do you feel like that was...
I should have had more open dialogue with him.
Facts.
And said like, yo, Wes, listen, someone's come to me and said they want me to help them do a compilation album.
Right.
That's one of the opportunities that came to my lap.
Okay.
We want you to do a compilation album, help with it.
Right.
But me, I'm like, I'm already helping Wes do his compilation album.
Right.
To the point where I'm in doing these photo shoots. I'm in like those albums. You check those albums. Yeah. I'm in like at least 4 or 5 of those albums. My face is on there.
Right.
I'm in the shout out section, everything. So I'm like, well, what can you offer me that I'm not really doing?
Right.
But at the same time, I don't know if I was to go and play on the other football pitch, who's there looking at me,
right,
and then goes, hang on a minute,
yeah,
where's this guy been hiding all this time? Who's this? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I don't know.
Because you see, looking out for yourself there's nothing wrong with it. I don't think there is.
No.
And I understand actually, like I wouldn't say to you listening to that story, you should have jumped ship.
Yeah.
But what I would say to you is definitely there's the level of complacency that you had. Because you're in a space where you're comfortable, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you don't want to make the wrong moves going forward, but at the same time, you don't want to.
No, in an ideal world, I would have said to Wes, yo, I'm still
a part of this, yeah.
And I'm still spending these late nights in regards to helping put this album together. And I'm going through all these demo tapes. These are the days when people were sending in their demo tapes and their CDs. I'm going through all these UK demo tapes and CDs to say to you, yo, this one here might be the one to go get a license or whatever.
Right.
But I would like to try do that a different way over there.
Right.
But I'm not relinquishing my ties. I'm not jumping ship. I just want to see how it's done on the other side.
Facts.
For my personal growth, for my better understanding.
Yeah.
So I know there's more than one way to do this thing.
Yeah.
So in that sense, and like I said, certain people I bump into and they remind me of those times. And then afterwards, when I'm in my own thoughts in the seat, when I listen to music or whatever, I will then go like, you know what? Yeah, I could have maneuvered this way. I could have done that. I could have done that. So, and ladies and gentlemen, like complacency can, there's many different forms in complacency. It doesn't have to be just work related. It can be in life. You can just come complacent with your daily routines. Mm-hmm. And you just get to a point where you think doing something different, however small it is, will cause a massive ripple effect and hit you in the wrong way. And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to. But something you have to trip, fall to know what that pain feels like, to get up and keep moving. So if you do trip and fall, you're like, it's nothing, man. I've done that 2-3 times before. I don't want to sound like Rocky, but the saying Rocky gives you, it's not the amount of times you fall down, it's the amount of times you get up. And so, so every so often just check yourself.
100%.
And just like
100%.
just to speak to certain people within your in your circle, because you might not think you're going through a bit of complacency, but your brethren might, or you might have identified it in your friends. And there's ways to say it. Don't be sensitive with it, because they might not realize they're being complacent, and I don't think you purposely be complacent. I just think it's
you fall into it.
You fall into it.
Yeah.
It's just because of the environment you're in. I don't think you purposely go, hey, guess what I'm doing today, Jack? I'm going to be complacent. It's just, sometimes it's just the environment you're in can cause you to become complacent. And just check yourself, and even if you're at work, I would say just write down little things that you have done, and then write little things that you want to do.
100%.
So that keeps you
Have
kind
a
of
list.
on target of what to move forward.
Yeah.
But, if you do find yourself being complacent, don't be too hard on yourself, because everyone's done it.
Absolutely.
The size of the complacency, the percentage of complacency might differ in everyone, but
it can be a killer.
Yeah.
But it can be a killer.
Pay attention to it.
So pay attention to it, people.